Did you recognize those sounds? Maybe even all of them? Some sounds were part of certain chapters in our lives and became part of ourselves. We instantly recognize them and feel a wave of nostalgia, remembering a cartoon, a TV show, or a film, and with it, a moment, a feeling from our own past. There is a reason that whenever I see something impossibly delicious, like a roasted chicken or a rich, overstuffed sandwich, I can almost hear Jerry's gulp. Tom and Jerry, created by Wilhelm and Joseph Barbera in 1940, was part of my childhood in a way that few other things were. They were built on exaggerated visuals, fast chase scenes, and most of all, extraordinary sound design. Tom doesn't say much, Jerry says even less. Yet the gulp, the shriek, the pant, the gasp, they are the voices in themselves. Tom's leather-lunged scream, for example, was created by recording Hannah himself screaming, editing out the weaker bits, and leaving precisely the raw, harsh mid-portion on the soundtrack. That scream echoes whenever Tom's plan goes terribly wrong. Meanwhile, the gulp, Jerry's nervous swallowing sound, is used whenever the stakes feel deliciously high. These sounds are shorthand for tension, excitement, fear, surprise. They have persisted, not because they are perfect technically, but because they feel perfect. Every child who ever saw Jerry drooling over a roasted chicken or spying a cheese wheel knows that gulp, and years later we still smile when we hear it, even if it's happening in our own mind while looking at a sandwich. If Tom and Jerry gave us personal audio memories, the Wilhelm scream is the kind of shared knick-knack of sound across cinema. It was first recorded in distant drums, but largely forgotten until sound editors rediscovered it and started slipping it into action scenes. Over the decades, it moved from being background to becoming a wink. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Toy Story, they all used it. It doesn't matter if it's a creature falling off a cliff or a soldier getting blasted. Someone somewhere will do the Wilhelm. A very human scream in settings that are often very inhuman. And yet, because it's used so often, it becomes its own kind of inside joke. Audiences who know it feel a little thrill of recognition, like seeing a secret handshake. Wilhelm reminds us that even in the most fantastic, made-up worlds, there are little constants. A scream may only last a second, but the right one will etch itself into history. Star Wars is full of iconic visuals, but some of its most enduring magic lives in sound. Van Burt, the man behind much of that sonic landscape, didn't rely on synthesizers alone. He hunted for found sounds in the everyday. Take the lightsaber hum. Burt used the idling motor of a film projector, that deep, constant hum, and combined it with a buzzing signal from a television set to get that mixture of warmth and danger. That swing sound when someone sweeps the blade through the air was made by waving a mic past the speaker playing the bass hum, giving it motion. Suddenly what could have been a toy, futuristic laser sword becomes something tactile and alive. Then there's Darth Vader's breathing, made using a scuba regulator with processing to deepen and distort it. The breathing is so iconic we feel the weight of his presence before we even see him. A few slow inhales, a mechanical rasp, a symbol of menace and dominion. It also shows how sound can do more. It can shape a character. When asked about Star Wars, Burt said that one of the first sounds he made for the entire series was the lightsaber. He knew right away it would be central. That blend of everyday objects, careful editing, and bold imagination changed what people expected sound in sci-fi could be. Long before blockbusters had soundtracks by million-dollar composers, there was Tarzan. Johnny Weissmuller's yell, first heard in the 1930s Tarzan films, occupies a special place in the soundtrack of our imagination. It's wild, echoing, human, and yet something more. The voice echoes across jungle cliffs, over waterfalls, gold rush camps. Every time Tarzan calls out, it's a claim on the wild. What's interesting, the yell has been remixed through time, inspired by earlier jungle calls and other vocal traditions, altered by studio reverb, sometimes sped up or slowed down, sometimes echoed or layered. Over the decades, it's been referenced in cartoons, TV shows, commercials, even mobile phone ringtones. Because when you hear it, you don't just hear Tarzan, you hear the idea of wildness, adventure, the horizon calling. Some sounds don't belong to characters or even stories. They belong to moods, to atmosphere. Castle Thunder is one of those. Originally recorded in 1931 for Frankenstein, this loud thunderclap during a rainstorm went on to be used in dozens of films, cartoons, and TV shows from the 1930s throughout the 1980s. It's been in Citizen Kane, Bambi, You Only Live Twice, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, among many, many others. The thing is, the analog recording quality, because it's old, doesn't always hold up in modern surround mixes. Sometimes the sound is too flat or muddy for big cinema setups, but still, filmmakers keep using it, even sometimes on purpose, because it has that character. There is something primally frightening about thunder, something universal, and when you hear Castle Thunder, you don't just think storm, you think gothic horror, secret castles, dramatic entrances, the loom of danger. Three notes. That's all it takes sometimes. That sharp chord progression used for reveals, suspense, cliffhangers. Though it's hard to pin down a single origin, its roots lie in the radio melodramas of the 1940s and early 1950s, where live orchestras or piano stings punctuated tense moments. Over time, those stings found their way into cartoons like Scooby-Doo, sitcoms, game shows, even commercials. What makes it so powerful that it doesn't announce anything specific. It signals that something is about to happen, a twist, a surprise, or sometimes a joke.
Good morning.
And today, it's often used with a wink in a comedy after something absurd. But that's exactly why it works. Even if you expect something silly to follow, those notes already have your heart in a gentle grip. Around 2010, Inception arrives. Hans Zimmer crafts a sound big enough to shake dreams. The horn of trailers, that deep brass and drum blast that hits you in the chest, a sound that communicates epic stakes without needing any words. Trailers before Inception used loud dramatic music, sure, but felt different. It felt like alarm, collapse, weight, urgency. After Inception, every big Hollywood trailer seemed to want its own blast. Dark Knight, Interstellar, Mad Max, echoes of the Zimmer sound are everywhere. People in film sound theory say it's one of the most defining sounds of modern blockbuster marketing. It's not just about creating tension, but about setting expectations. When you hear, you know the film wants you to feel something massive is happening.
What a lovely day!
Some sounds are pure action. They are almost physically felt. Indiana Jones's whip crack, sharp, instantaneous, brilliant in its simplicity. The crack is made by breaking the sound barrier, literally the tip of the whip moving faster than sound, giving that distinctive snap. It is the sound of danger, daring, control. Ghostbusters brought on back firing, a buzzing, crackling device that sounds unstable. The hum builds, the sparks fly, and though it's sci-fi fantasy, the sound feels dangerous enough to believe it. You sense that if someone mishandled the pack, things might go horribly wrong. It's a sound that carries a risk. The Star Trek transporter whoosh, shimmering, rising, voices we can't quite hear, particles we can't see. But that sound tells us someone or something is fading, dissolving, or reappearing. Whether it's Captain Kirk or Dr. Crusher, the transporter gives a voice of teleportation to science fictional wonder. Hearing it, you feel expectation, curiosity, the strange promise of the future. There are sounds that live at the thresholds: time, horror, childhood. Back to the Future's DeLorean time travel sequence is more than a special effect. It's a swirl of whooshes, crackles, and booms. The idea is that time is being broken open. When light streaks across the screen and the air seems to ripple, the sound reminds you that you're witnessing something impossible. In Psycho, when Marion Crane steps into the shower, the violins, a stabbing, screaming orchestration by Bernard Herrmann, meet Janet Leigh's terrified scream. That moment changed horror. The sound alone can make audiences flinch, even decades later. It's calculated, short, high-pitched violins, sudden stop, then immediate silence. It still works. Oh, and hello Mario, dear old friend. Few characters have given us so many legendary soundbites and music cues like you did. It's hard to choose a favorite. For me, the little coin sound has always stood out. Bright, simple, instantly satisfying. I even set it as my phone notification once. Every time I got a message on the bus or walking down the street, I would look around just to see whose head would turn. It's a way of finding your people. Anyone who smiles at that ding knows exactly what it means. These sounds aren't just effects, they are shared memories, emotions, and moments we carry with us long after the credits roll. They shaped our sense of wonder, fear, humor, and admiration. When we hear them again, or their echoes in newer media, they are reminders of childhood, of thrill, of stories that became of who we are. They live on in countless films, shows, and culture moments. And they are here to stay, because sometimes all it takes is one sound to bring everything back. Thanks for watching.